Hello, Patreon members. Thank you. Now that spring is upon us, I've got hand exercises for you because whether you're gardening or biking or just doing more stuff outside, generally our hands end up getting a lot more work. So start hands and knees. Then we're going to put the forearms down. We're going to start with finger lifts. So with the palms on the ground, forearms on the ground, lifting thumbs, first finger, second, third, fourth, and continuing through that and keeping your knuckles down and just one finger on each hand at a time. And if this is going pretty well and it doesn't feel challenging enough, raising the forearms off the ground will make it more challenging. Here we go. So you can certainly do more rounds of that. So those are the finger lifts with your palms on the ground. And then we're going to do sort of hand push-ups. Keeping my hands where they are, fingers spread wide, fingers facing forwards. I'm going to lift my palms off the ground and keeping my knuckles on the ground, and then lower with control. Couple things before you get into it. You want to make sure that it's a little bit challenging to get your palms off the ground. If it's not challenging at all, push your shoulders forward, put more weight over your hands, and change the angle between your hand and your forearm, making it more acute. If it's too challenging and you have a lot of trouble getting your palms off the ground, then sit your hips back and make that angle more oblique or more acute on this side, and lifting up. Really keep your fingers and your knuckles engaged in the ground and lift only as high as you're comfortable. Lower with control. This should be both a stretch and strength for the muscles in your hand and your wrists. And you can do anywhere from 10 to 50 of those. Depends on what you want to work on. And then from here, same hand position, we're going to do side to side rocks. So leaning from one side to the other. Keeping the palms down, stretching laterally through the hand and the wrist. And just like before, you can change the intensity by either sitting the hips and shoulders back or hips and shoulders coming more forward. Don't injure your wrists. After that, I'm going to come back onto my padded surface because I'm going to go to the backs of my hands. Fingers facing in, fingers spread nice and wide. And you might have to bend the elbows a little bit, or you might be able to keep the elbows straight. You want to find that place where you get a little bit of tension and stretch on the other side of your wrists. And then from here, coming up into fists, and then gently lowering into your stretch, pressing your fingernails into the mat, using strength to make a fist, and then lowering with control. So again, anywhere between 10 and 50. I wouldn't start with 50, but you could work up to it. Even just 5 might be enough on the day one. So last is some individual finger flexes. So I'm going to take my thumbs and tap my palm, keeping all my other fingers up. I'm going to take my first finger and I'm going to tap my palm or get as low as I can, trying to keep my other fingers up. Now they're not going to stay as up as they did before, but I'm trying, I'm working. I'm not just letting the other fingers flop down. Middle fingers, ring finger, pinky. Flexing the finger down, seeing if you can get it to your palm, trying to keep the other fingers as up as possible. There you go.